Hello and welcome to Cannabis Conversations. My name is Nancy Nerge. I'm a nurse practitioner and I'm certified to enroll patients in the medical marijuana program in Connecticut. Today, we're going to talk about product. One of the challenges most of my patients have is when they leave me, they get their temporary card and they go in to make an appointment at the dispensary. There is an overwhelming number of products available. That's the good news. The bad news is you have to start somewhere. So in order to start somewhere, I've brought my guest today, Debbie from Fine Fettle Pharmacy, here to help me understand some of the products that are in here. Welcome, Debbie.
Hi, Nancy. How are you?
Tell us something about you and Fine Fettle.
Sure. So my name is Debbie, and I am the dispensary manager over at Fine Fettle in Willimantic. We have 2 locations in the state, and we've been helping patients pick out products and get enrolled in the program and participate in all things cannabis since June of this year.
Mm-hmm. One of the things I'd like to start this off with is we have an understanding that you can have up to 2.5 ounces of product, and that's monitored by a system that based on the flower, the number of flower buds that are in there. So everything equates back to a number that you keep track of, correct?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So every patient in the program, again, can have up to 2.5 ounces of cannabis product, and it can be anything from bud or flower to, for example, lotions or honey, and each product set by its producer or manufacturer has something called the flower equivalency. And the way I like to explain that to patients is how much flour did it take to create this product? So we do all of the tracking for patients. We do all of the monitoring that's necessary to make sure that patients stay within their allotment sent by their doctor.
Excellent. Speaking of the product, let's start with it then. What we have are different strains, they're called, of medical marijuana that are grown by the 4 producers that we have. Can you tell us something about the producers?
Yeah, so there's 4 producers in the state of Connecticut. Some patients like to call them growers, so either term is completely right. We had Advanced Grow Labs, and they're located in West Haven, Connecticut. We have Curaleaf, and they're located in Simsbury. CT Pharma, formerly known as, I think, CT Pharmaceutical Solutions. They're in Portland, Connecticut. And then Theraplan is in Watertown, Connecticut, I believe. I apologize if I have that wrong. But they're all local, so dispensaries can only purchase product from those 4 growers, and essentially they create product all the way from growing flower to lotions, like I had mentioned, honey, edibles like cookies or brownies. They kind of are growing these products all year round and making them available for dispensaries to purchase and then provide to a consumer in a safe manner.
Exactly. Safety is very important.
Yeah.
And that's what I understand Connecticut does right. Our producers or growers start with seed. They have individual processes. We know exactly what kind of fertilizer is used,
Yes.
everything. So from seed to plant, we know exactly what's going on. And then from plant, which you extract, and you have some of the actual buds that come, which is what looks like cannabis, and then the remainder of it is extracted into different products. Can you tell us something about that?
Yeah, so most growers mention that nothing about the plant ever goes to waste. So whether that is obviously selling the product as its own, bud flower form, all the way down to testing the products or manufacturing them in a way where they're available as a tincture or an oil. Yeah, nothing ever goes to waste.
Nothing goes to waste. That's great.
And another thing that's really important that a lot of patients don't know is that all of the growers are required to send their products to a lab. I believe there's 2 labs in Connecticut, and at that lab they test for a variety of things, but 2 of the most important things that I consider, and I like to mention this to patients, is the THC percentage. Mm-hmm. So how strong essentially is that product? And they also test to see if there's any pesticides or anything of that.
Heavy metals too.
Yeah.
Heavy metals. So the good news of what we get in Connecticut dispensaries is grown in Connecticut. It is independently tested. So unlike marijuana you get from any other state or any other place that you gather, whether it's legal or illegal. With Connecticut, you know exactly what you're getting.
Exactly.
I really like that.
It's definitely a safer alternative for sure.
Definitely. Then we have the different types of medical marijuana. We start with the indica strain. Now, indica, I know when I went to nursing school, I had to remember things by associating. So I always think of indica as in bed.
Yeah.
Indica is a more relaxing strain. Not that all are, but most of them will tend to be the ones you're going to take before you go to sleep.
Yeah.
Or if you have an anxiety attack of that type of thing. The sativa are the more energizing ones. You might take those in the morning. And then what they're looking at is what's called, and most are now, are hybrids. Can you help me understand what a hybrid is when we have sativa and indica?
Yeah, so hybrids traditionally, and again, you mentioned this doesn't apply to every hybrid out there. It's usually almost like a combination of a sativa and an indica strain. So they usually fall somewhere down the middle. Now, we have these major categories, but you might try an indica product, for example, and it might keep you up. So it's all about kind of patient trial and error.
Exactly.
And it might just
individualized medicine.
Yeah,
Very
so
true.
It's great that the growers are providing, this category within each product, but at the same time, patients should understand that it might not always feel like, like you said, in bed or in the couch for an indica or uplifting for a sativa, but it's a great place to start.
Exactly. So the hybrids tend to be dominant, but you still have to be careful on how it works with you.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah. For the most part, most hybrids are either what they call sativa leaning or indica leaning. They're usually not, right down the middle, unfortunately, like we hoped they would be. But that would all be determined by, after you try the product and see how you feel.
But even more than the strain is the THC value, because that's really what delineates medical marijuana from what we now know as CDB or industrial hemp. CDB, that we know it on the street right now, is been extracted from what's considered hemp products, and it does not have any of the THC. THC is the ingredient in it that tends to be the more hallucinogenic or will get you that high feeling. So, but when you buy cannabis in a dispensary, one of the things is the percentage of CDB to THC is very much known, correct?
Yeah, so every single product will have either the CBD or THC percentage on the product, and that is tested. They provide the product to a lab, which provides them with that number that it's supposed to be. So you'll find that, even though you might have, for patients who have tried a specific strain in the past, once that strain comes back, it's possible that THC or CBD percentage has changed. Now, this is a plant, and it's not like, making something in a lab. Plants react differently to their environment and to how much stress they go through. So I tell patients, always pay attention to what you're purchasing and what's on the label, because that will tell you a little bit about what it's likely going to make you feel like.
Exactly.
And it changes,
again, we've talked about this. Start low and go slow. Even after you've purchased something, always make sure you know how you're going to react. Your body may have changed also. We get older, we're on different medications, so the idea here is really to go for that personalized medication routine, right?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. There are instances where there might have been a product that had been working for a while and something changes where it doesn't, but the good thing about having dispensaries now available in Connecticut and having pharmacists there available is that we'll help find you a product that works, something in a similar profile or something in a similar route of administration. Whatever it is, pharmacists will always be available to help you find an alternative that will hopefully make you feel the same way.
Definitely.
So there's always options.
Definitely. So one of the things we would like to do today is to go over some of the products. Once you get your card and you are in the dispensary, these are some of the things you're going to be exposed to. And I'd like Debbie to start explaining it. We're going to start with the top shelf here. How's that sound?
Sure.
These are the
Yeah, so those typically contain flower or bud, so actual flower that you would smoke, come in a typical packaging container. I tell patients, this looks like what you might find at a retail pharmacy, and that kind of makes them feel a little bit at ease. But normally flower comes in a container like that. All the growers have different packaging and different labels, but what's most important is that every package will tell you what the strain is, what the percentage of THC or CBD, also a plant's terpene profile, which I can probably go on and on about, and I will skip that over now.
Yeah,
I will skip that over now.
Show. Yes,
yeah.
yes.
But then it'll also tell you whether it's a hybrid or a sativa or an indica or a CBD only product. There's lots of information on the packaging that, and what I want to explain with that is that when you get home, there will be information available for you, so it won't, be overwhelming. You'll know exactly what's in the bottle.
Right. So I take the bottle. What do I do then? Say I am not experienced in producing medical marijuana. Chances are good I probably wouldn't recommend a bud for the first-time user.
Yeah.
But just in case that's what they want, what would you send them home with instructions on? What do you do with it?
Yeah, so the good thing is that nowadays we're in a day and age where there's a lot of information out there, both on websites that talk about how to use cannabis all the way to YouTube. But before they actually leave, I'd go over this with them in store. So if they were taking a flower product home, they would need some sort of accessory to go alongside with in order to be able to use the product. Now that might be rolling papers, to bowls or other accessories. But we'd go over that in store so the person actually knows what to do when they get home. The good thing is we have the internet on our side, and there's lots of information and instructional videos.
'Cause there's grinding you do and things like that.
Yeah, it really depends on, it's all about patient preference. So there's an accessory out there for everyone. So it's just about kind of trying what you feel comfortable with and then going from that. But the great thing is that both our dispensary technicians and pharmacists can help with accessories and utilizing the product. So there's a lot of information that we can provide to the patient before they even leave.
Now I'm going to sound really smart. There's decarboxylating. What do you think of that? Huh?
Yeah, that's a
that was a term I learned as to why raw medical marijuana or raw buds don't work until you
heat them. Yeah, that's exactly right. So there is a whole decarboxylating process that you can probably read, a ton about, and we could probably have another segment about. But yeah, you do have to apply heat to flower in order for you to feel the effects. There are some studies out there that talk about, people are adding THC now to their smoothies in the morning.
Right.
So
that THCA.
Lots to be uncovered, but you'll find that we carry products that need to be decarboxylated while others have already gone through the process and are ready to be used.
Right. So we move down the, which product would you like to show us next?
Sure. I think this is a good one. Right here, the topical products are actually some that we find to be really popular, and these are for patients who are experiencing what I like to describe as local pain. So pain on their knee, pain on their hip, pain on their back. This is a product that is great for patients who don't want to ingest product or don't want to feel the effects of being high, no psychoactive effects whatsoever, but have localized pain.
Right.
Those tend to be really great, and they come nowadays in a variety of strengths. THC only, CBD only, some have fragrance, some without, so there's lots to pick from.
My patients that have rheumatoid arthritis and the nodules, that is phenomenal with them. They can wake up in the morning or go to bed at night and rub it in their knuckles, and they are able to really move their release of pain, reduce of inflammation. It's really a wonderful product for that. Yeah.
That's awesome. No, I hear, I have patients come back and say just those things, and it's great for patients who feel pain but need to go to work.
Yes.
And need to drive to work and need a product that won't cause any psychoactive effects to their brain but still find some sort of relief. Lotions and creams are wonderful for that.
Right. back pain also, if you can get your partner to give you a nice back rub with
Yeah.
this. And if they have any issues with their hands, don't put the gloves on and give you a great back rub.
Yeah.
You'll both get the effects.
That's
so
true.
what have we got next? It looks like honey is next.
Yeah, so honey right over here is actually made by a couple of our growers, so there's lots of different strengths available. Honey is wonderful because nowadays they're making them in just that indica strain that we had talked about, which is wonderful for nighttime use, as well as a CBD strain that or a sativa strain that you can use throughout the day. So depending on when you like to drink your tea or your coffee or whatever you need to add kind of a little bit of honey or sugar to, there's an option out there for you.
Now, missing from here, speaking of which, is though they do now have them in tea bags.
Yeah, that's one of our newest products. Yeah, there are tea bags now. They come in, again, an indica strain, which is great for the nighttime, as well as a CBD to THC combo that's great for the daytime. Now, just that kind of drives the point home that you don't need to smoke product in order to ingest THC. There's lots of products available out there for every single person that feels like cannabis is right for them.
Right, and I'm going to move to the center here because these are the ones that I probably work with my patients the most on.
Yeah.
These are the tinctures,
yeah,
right? Okay.
Tinctures, similar packaging comes in oral solutions. Those are products that provide what I like to call almost close to immediate effects. It can take upwards of 15 minutes depending on how you ingest it, but they're great again for patients who don't want to smoke but need relief throughout the day or need fairly quick relief and don't feel comfortable smoking or don't want to smoke. Tinctures are available in both unflavored versions that you can put under your tongue, all the way to flavored versions too in oral solutions that can help kind of get that taste for patients who have like a sensitive stomach or sensitive taste buds.
Right. One of the things I see with my patients that I get them into is they wake up in the morning, and especially those with pain, they take some under their tongue. It's more the sativa because it is, for most people, energizing. During the day, they might, which we'll go on to next time, if they have acute pain or anxiety, use something like a vape pen. But then at night, again, under the tongue, they do a little bit of the indica, and they get a good 6 to 8 hours sleep. And for a lot of people, that's a lot of sleep they haven't gotten in a lot of years.
Yeah, so that's exactly right.
The under the tongue tinctures are probably the ones that I see my patients using the most.
Yeah, they're just really quick and easy, and you can also start low and go slow really easily.
Really easily. Now, in front of that, we've got capsules.
Oh yeah, so capsules are, I still consider them an edible, but they're a great way for patients to get relief. Now, capsules aren't the best if you need quick relief because they obviously need to be digested by your body. So I tell patients that this would be a great thing for someone who maybe has an issue staying asleep, for example. You can fall asleep, but you wake up in the middle of the night. Something like a capsule or a tablet is great because it will actually be activated typically like 2 hours before you take it. Now, everyone's different, but it's a good idea to kind of, a good place to start. Capsules are wonderful, but they're also nowadays available, in a sativa blend or a specific sativa strain, as well as hybrids and CBD. So depending on what your goal is, there's a capsule out there for you or a tablet out there for you.
The thing that we need to reiterate here with capsules is they do need to go through what's called the GI pass. So that means you do lose a lot when it's digested like that. It takes a lot longer to make sure you get it. So you won't feel the effects sometimes for up to 2 hours. So even though you take one, you don't need to take one a half an hour later.
That's exactly
because you may, it's not an overdose, but have too much effect. Again, we get back to the wonderful thing about medical marijuana. No one has ever overdosed or died on it.
That's correct.
So up front, we have what is considered a vape pen. Now that's getting a lot of bad press recently. Please, let's help clarify some of that.
It's a very, very hot topic nowadays, and I have questions about it. I'd say, on a daily basis for good reason. Now, all of the individual growers in Connecticut have released statements to say that they are not using any of the harmful products that have been found in black market cartridges or black market vape pen. So what I tell my patients is that if you have any product that did not come from a dispensary in Connecticut, get rid of it. It's not worth the risk. But with products that the growers have made, they don't include any of those harmful chemicals or solvents that we've heard about on the news.
Right.
So there's nothing to worry about from that aspect. But if they do have any at home that came from the black market, definitely get rid of those.
Right. And I think the thing that when I talked about my patients taking different doses during the day, one of the things vape pens does do is almost immediate relief.
Yes.
And for people who suffer with chronic pain and there's an acute episode, or those patients with regards to anxiety, both of those are handled very well with just one or maybe two hits on a vape pen, and you're back to having the tool to be able to have you cope. And that's what it's all about, is living your best life so that these things don't run your life.
Yeah.
All right, then we move to this guy. I think this guy's cool.
The syringes. Yeah, we get a lot of questions about those just because syringes sometimes can be a little bit scary, but
Yeah.
these products are wonderful because the growers have already done a lot of the work for you.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on the oil, they can be used for vaping, meaning filling your own cartridges, which can be a little bit more cost effective. They can be used for making edibles, as well as some people, simply ingest them in that form
Right,
if they'd
right.
like. It all depends on what syringe type you're bringing. But what's great too is that nowadays the growers are making them with just THC oil blends or strains, as well as CBD is available, and also a mix of both. So
Wow.
depending on what your goal is, again, you can find a product that will fit.
Good. And that gets back to the symptoms you want to handle.
Yeah.
All right. This guy is another one. I know a lot of my patients with regards to Parkinson's, like that. And tell us about the spray.
Yeah, so in comparison to tinctures who are over here where you have to use a dropper in order to dispense their product, sprays are wonderful because they're just easy and convenient.
Right.
Again, you're spraying either underneath your tongue, depending on whether you're able to access that area when you need to feel relief, and it, again, works fairly quickly. And the great thing too is that a lot of them come flavored, which is great again for
Wow.
patients who have a sensitive stomach or sensitive taste buds. And they're great for patients who again may not, it's difficult for them to get an exact dose of a tincture, but they don't want to smoke.
Right.
There's something really, really convenient.
Right. Now, this next product here, I have never seen this, so this is new to me. What is this?
Yeah, this is actually a different container for a lotion or a cream
okay.
made by one of the growers. What's wonderful about that one is that it's airtight as well, so
Okay.
patients don't feel like they need to rush, using the product. Which is the same case for this one made by CT Pharma, the other grower. But outside of creams, as far as topical products go, we have a massage oil available now that's new from
Wow.
TheraPlant, and it's great for patients who suffer from body aches and muscle pain,
it.
as well as bath salts and bath bombs. So
Right.
there's a product
Right.
out there for any symptom.
Right. The thing I like about this dispensary, and we use it in hormone therapy, is it gives you a metered dose.
That's true.
You don't have to, in other words, if you do, for
One
the
pump.
most part, one push is the same amount every time, so you can know what's going on.
Yeah.
Anything else we need to know about these products? Oh, we had talked about one other, which is it new,
The brownie mix?
The brownie
Ah,
mix.
yes, I have here. It's a display-only little package. But nowadays, if you want to bake your own edibles at home, so things like brownies or
Right.
cookies, one of the growers, CT Pharma, came out with a powder that you can add to your own brownie mix, which ends up being a little bit more cost-effective. And for patients who love to cook, it's a nice way to kind of get their THC in.
Right. Well, that was one of the challenges that, as far as taste-wise, sometimes, and not all of the edibles,
Yeah.
weren't as tasty as,
Yeah.
say, the cookies that I make.
Right.
With something like that, you can even take. I'm not a cook. I'm very lucky that way. I have a chef or a husband, but
Yeah.
I can take a Duncan Hines brownie mix, put that in it, stir it thoroughly. Put it into things and then freeze it. And then as a nightly dose or with my tea or something like that, I can do that.
Yeah,
Those
that's
are
exactly right. Sounds
great
really yummy.
products. Yeah. Yeah. Well, we talked about the tea. Is there anything else we want to talk about?
No, I think what's most important for patients to know is that there is now a plethora of products available,
Yeah.
and it's not just bud that's available nowadays. So there will be a product for everyone. It'll be about trial and error, but you can work with your dispensary to find the right product for you.
Exactly. And again, remember always, it is personalized medicine. What works with you is what you need to find out. And always start low and go slow. I want to thank you very much for joining us, and thank you, Debbie. I learned a lot, and I hope you did too. And we look forward to seeing you again when we hold Cannabis Conversations. Thank you.